Hello,
Today we're talking to Jordan Nuttall. Hello, how are you?
sorry about that. I jumped the gun there. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very happy to see you. Very excited to see you. Have been on almost a daily basis anticipating your research for quite some time. You're also one of the original Tartaria conference researchers,
Yes, I
uh,
see.
and people are still watching that. It's gone up from like 4 to like 5,000. Some of the views. It's been reposted and re-edited in a couple of different languages. So yeah, that was a very exciting time. Especially since we had a lot of really famous people join.
The,
Well, fa famous within that community. Yeah. What was your favorite one, actually? I wanted to ask you this, sorry. Your
uh,
favorite Tartaria conference interview, apart from yours and mine.
I quite liked Brigitte's
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
geology meltology. Yeah,
Everything she said, every word she said was like part of a very important point, right? Of
but
like
until then,
almost everything she said. I mean, there was no kind of like what I like to do, which is sort of like paint a picture with the words. She
yeah.
she was just fact, 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 and it was like, whoa, a pause and go back a minute, you know. So
Well, it was her presentation that got me into meltology. I'd never heard of it before.
well, meltology for me has actually I think I've been doing this for about a good 4 years. I haven't made videos for 4 years, made videos for about like two and a half. But yeah, I think like that was one of my first things that I was introduced to. The melting of buildings and the melting of especially red brick. Yeah.
Because
But
once you see,
what is meltology to you? Because it's a different thing to different people, I find.
well, I'm not entirely. I don't agree with the theory entirely. I'm not. I don't know if the world was a great big motherboard and it was fried, and that's what
Right.
all these weird structures are. But when you look at the geology of places, it's clearly melted in some places in the world. You've got
Yeah.
rock formations that clearly look melted, and they look like structures or faint outlines of what used to be structures. And it's not just a coincidence. I mean, they melted. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I said, I just like to keep everything logical. And the
Mm.
logical answer is that they all look melted. So I don't know why, but I think the meltology theory goes that the world was a big motherboard, and all these cathedrals, spires, churches. I'm sure you know more. Do you want to go and expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think that there were certain places that were cursed by some higher power, and
Yeah.
there are many accounts. There's a city called Sodom, which
Yeah.
is actually where the term sodomy comes from, because apparently the people of the city were just without morals, and God decided to destroy the city with like brimstone. I don't know. Anyway, so
Yeah.
it was like a pretty serious bombing of fiery
Yeah.
boulders. And there was another city next to it called Gomorrah, which had exactly the same problem. In fact, they were visited by angels. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, people have heard of the story even if they've never read about it. It's weird. And
I've heard the story, yeah, of Sodom and Gomorrah, and I've not even
yeah,
read the Bible. Yeah.
exactly. You don't even if you haven't read the Bible, that really echoed into people's like consciousness throughout history,
Yeah.
going back
Well,
thousands of years.
as soon as you said Sodom, as soon Sodom and Gomorrah popped up in my head. Like I said,
Yeah.
I didn't even know what they were until you've just mentioned it now. But I've heard it
Yeah,
before.
every time someone says meltology, I think of like cities being basically melted into like completely removed from history. And
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we are when we walk through certain like mountain ranges, like in Saxony, like in Germany, there is an an area where all the cliffs are these kind of like stack formations, they call them.
Yeah.
and it just everything looks like an archway. And I mean, they have a story. They have, or there's always like someone else's narrative that actually these cities were that these weren't cities, that this is just how erosion happens over millennia, or you know. Uh,
Mm.
but to me, when you really go close to the stone and you start to move it away, you can see geometrical kind of brickwork,
Yeah.
and that is freaky because when you see bricks melted into natural rock formations, you suddenly realize that this has been going on for
A long time.
a non-specific period of time, and which
Mm.
could be millions of years. That civilizations have been built up and then have been completely destroyed when there is not one good man left in the city, and that echoes throughout the Bible, the Quran. That's like a very powerful sentence. If there's not one good man left, and because that's the question I think that Abraham and Lot, all of these like famous, these like powerful religious figures. That's what they always ask God. Like
Yeah.
don't destroy the city, don't destroy the city. But there, like if you read the Bible, there is some very there are very specific guidelines to every city being destroyed, and it happened many times. And the cities are still there. I mean, they're covered in sand, and there's ruins, and there's nothing left. But it used to be a big city. You can tell the farming, the flora and fauna, which we're going to talk about later. That has grown because there's all these different types of species there because farming was being done. So
Yeah.
if you look at the Amazon, earlier this year, someone did a lidar scan, which is it's sort of similar to like radar scanning or like microwave scanning. It's basically going through objects to pick out uh,
I'm
certain
familiar with it.
oh yeah, certain kind of non-penetrating
Yeah. Yeah.
radar. I don't know. Anyway, so I think lidar stands for something too. So I don't know off the top of my head because it's a really interesting technology, and they found streets, roads, buildings, trade routes in the Amazon, which means that the entire Amazon is not a natural forest with these wonderful plethora of different species. It's actually the result of a very well organized farmed empire where the plants just took over because everybody was wiped out. And I mean, I think that it could have been maybe disease or some kind of flu or some something like that. But it could have been something much more serious. It could have been like a fire. It could have been pestilence. Like Egypt was hit, according to the biblical stories, with plagues. So each plague was biblical, but can also be explained away in a natural occurring kind of context. So for example, the Nile turned to blood, which is something that happens regularly um, uh, to the Mississippi, I think. Or I mean, there's a certain type of algae that is red that grows on dead fish, I think. Something to do with dead animals. And the Nile turning red happened right after the plague of frogs or locusts, and all of these things are connected because if the frogs die, the locusts come. If the algae grows, then the Nile turns red. And can you see what I mean? So there's like
Yeah.
there's a very ascertainable sequence. So you don't have to look at it as a biblical prophecy. You could or a biblical magical event. You can look at it as a very logical sort of
Yeah.
result
Realistic. Yeah.
of nature turning against people.
Yeah.
So a meteorite storm could have been recorded as God's wrath. But then there are other things in the Bible, like for example, there were angels that came down. So were those extraterrestrials? They visited the city. And as they visited the city, they went to Lot's house to talk to him. and get him out of the city because they said God is going to destroy the city, right? So it could have been almost extraterrestrials coming in to say, "Get out of here. There's a meteor storm happening. Do you want to leave?" And nobody left. And then it says in the Bible, it says it word for word, the people try to take the angels out of his house and rape them.
Really?
And it says that. It says that in the Bible. They didn't want his daughters. They wanted to have sexual relations with the angels that came down. I mean, so why is that in the Bible? Because I think you need to lay a platform for a narrative that ends in the destruction of an entire city, because that's what
Yeah.
happened. And I think that's maybe what the author, was told. I mean, obviously, I mean, I do believe that that was something that happened personally, but yeah, you know. Yeah, so this has happened throughout history. I mean, did you hear about did you hear about the city that was destroyed with sound and musical instruments?
No?
Yeah, the similar thing happened. I don't know if it was a melting effect, but there was a city that was destroyed. Um, the city was, I think it's called Jericho. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. The city of Jericho.
yeah, and I think they had to cover one of the towers in maybe red. They had to put like a red, um, some kind of red ribbon outside the tower to tell the people that not to aim. Maybe the cymatic weapons that they had at the time. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, that one does seem a lot very fantastical. Yes. So yeah,
Interesting, though.
there's some cool stuff in the Bible, bro. There's some cool stories, like
I do
really
need
make you
to read
think.
it. I've got that many books to read, Charles. I'll add it.
Yes,
It's
you
on my
do.
list.
You do. I know you do. Yeah.
I need to.
Good. Okay. Anyway, yeah, meltology, wonderful, wonderful idea, wonderful theory. Yes, and undoubtedly, the only explanation for a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
let's start today with a little introduction. I've been studying Tartaria for about 4 years. Um, I have one of my one of my favorite researchers was Michelle Gibson for a long time. I've never really had a chance to talk to her. I hope one day I do get a chance to actually work with her in some way. Her research is so impressive, especially some of her past videos in the last like 5 years, where she's basically researched almost every part of like North America to look at the old buildings there, the architecture. And I think she has many theories about the Moors having constructed many buildings, um, and obviously the Tartarian Empire. So yeah, how long have you been researching Tartaria?
I'd say it's just been the best part of this year, really. I've been a bit late to the topic, but I think once I started noticing the buildings in real life, like in my town, looking at some of the structures, thinking that just doesn't quite fit in. And then I look online, I hear about Tartaria. So I look into that further. I think to myself, and there's a lot online. You don't know what's true, what's made up. Like you said, what's fantastical.
Yeah,
So I thought I'll buy my. If Tartary was a real empire, a real country, it should be in old geographical books. What I thought. So I thought I'll buy a couple old geographical books, and it was in every single one of them. So that started the journey, and now here we are, Charles. 18 books deep now, and they're all full of Tartary references.
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anyone else in the last 100 years that's been able to get that much information about a missing piece of our history. Um,
Yeah, such a big piece.
I hope that yeah, you get recognition within your lifetime. Because I don't know if you know, but a lot of famous like researchers and artists don't get recognized until many years after they
Yeah.
die, which is not what's going to happen here because this is happening so fast.
It is. It's really changing.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed by the information. I just want us to find ways that people can access it. Because telling people to read a book list doesn't always
No,
work. Uh, in fact, I
no,
think people are forgetting to how to do research. Uh, you know, without Google and things like that. And
yeah,
obviously Google is controlling the information, and these things have never been put online either. Nobody has ever bothered to take photos of page 18 of your 18th book. Actually, is it 18th book, page 18?
it is actually.
Because numerology is important in this.
Yeah,
Because we all have numerology, right? I'd like to do something with numerology, which I've had a lot of luck finding out interesting things. So your name also has like a numerological, is
yeah,
that a word? Numerological value, right?
it is a
So
word. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, so your name is Jordan Nuttall, Nuttal.
L.
So N,
2 L's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. A, B, C, D, J, K. Yeah, so I got 21.
What does that signify?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 and 20 again. A is 1. L is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so we have 14, 21, 20, 21, and 12. So 35, okay, 40, and 13. 80, 88. Do you know how many books there are in the Bible?
88.
Yeah, the original Bible, not the King James version that has 66. Do you know how many keys there are on a piano?
88.
Yeah, and that's your number 88 in numerology. There you go.
Wow.
That's a pretty powerful name. But I kind of knew your name was powerful anyway. Surname, family name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's quite well known in places.
yeah, yeah. That's a very powerful number. Um, yeah. No, I actually found out the other day that uh I think almost every one of my siblings has the same number in the name. So
Yeah.
I don't know how subconsciously someone gave us all the same number. Yeah, it's kind of scary, man. Like numerology is one of the most powerful things
I need to
in the
learn
in the
about it.
universe. In the universe, like if you see numbers a lot, like 555, or like these are like angels trying to communicate with you, your ancestors, your guardian angels.
Hmm.
You probably have a sentinel and a guardian angel if you've been given a specific job to perform here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever think that a percentage of people that you meet every day are not actually like real people?
I know what you mean. I know what you're getting at. Yeah. Just holograms. I don't
No,
know.
no, I mean that they are not actually people. They are something else. They are just kind of tasked to perform a specific duty within your consciousness, and then they kind of gone almost. Happens to
Uh,
me a lot.
not
Like
something to know about, really.
they call them NPCs now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
like people without internal dialogue, like people that are just almost maybe like, I mean, you can call them clones, even though I haven't convinced myself of the existence of
A
clones.
lot of people that don't have the inside voice.
Yeah, yeah, and there are a lot of people like that, and they are sometimes their job is just to
Their job.
perform certain
How to work is
duties.
job. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't
So that,
imagine life without the inside voice, to be honest with you. How do you read? I mean, I read in my head.
yeah. Well, I mean,
And all my thoughts come from in my head, everything. Me. I am what's inside me. I'm the voice.
hmm. I think we're supposed to find those people who are real people that we can communicate with, and then we're supposed to somehow work together to either leave the realm or to ascend or to. I don't think we're supposed to change anything here.
Yeah.
And I
No, I
think
have.
that's why it's so ridiculously easy to see how everything is a lie, and that's why people just can't understand you when you talk like this. You know, we just had a conversation the other day. I put it on my Instagram, not my Facebook, because I
Yeah.
think almost every conversation I have has its own specific purpose. And there are people literally commenting, people that follow me. So they follow
Yeah.
me, so they are interested in some way. But it's getting out of hand because I am thinking sometimes to private my account so whoever's followed me this far, no more new people join because
Yeah.
I feel there's just too many comments I can't reply. Um, it's got over like a million a month now, like 1.3 million, which is uh I like that it's more. I mean, I know many people that have a lot more followers than I do, okay? But I like that it's getting up there to the higher like millions, but that's just interaction. That's not actual followers. Um,
Yeah.
but I can't reply to those people. I had 80 people in just the space since we started talking. 80 people that I'm supposed to. I can't reply to 80 people. What's the point? It's almost like a waste of time. Why have that many people? It's just numbers then, It's fun, it's interesting to have numbers.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get it in my group online on
Yeah.
Facebook that I can't
But
reply to.
some comments are so good. Like
Yeah.
some comments are like, oh, it's just wow, I did all of this just for that comment because sometimes. But
Pointing things out.
the
Seeing it.
majority of people are just negative, They can't even handle you just saying something, just having an idea. Nobody likes that I compared the eagle, like the Third Reich, to the American eagle or to the Roman Empire eagle.
Yeah.
But they're all eagles. Look, there's like thousands of different species of birds. If you want to choose an animal, why are you choosing the exact same one in the exact same posture with the exact same stretched out wings? I mean, this is not a Maltese falcon. This is not, some other
Yeah.
bird. You're picking that animal for a reason. And I think the Tartars, the Scythians, they also picked the same animal. They were copying their own ancestors.
Yeah.
You
Makes
know.
sense.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, freedom of speech, is important. It's very important.
And
But
we're losing it. We're losing it now.
yeah, yeah, and that's obviously a completely different world. So anyway, while we still have it, let's talk about yeah, Tartaria. And
Yes.
the greatest topic really has to be proving that it was real and yeah, just exactly how real it was. Would you like to read that amazing page 18 of your 18th book? Wait a minute,
Yes.
18th book. Okay. Yeah, so that's 36.
36.
18,
My
18,
favorite.
36. 3 and 6 is 9. Nuttall, there you go. 9. No, okay. Okay. 9. 9 is a great number. If we add your name, we have 8, 8 as well, which is 16, 16. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I do now.
So 16,
Thank you.
16 is 20, gives us to 24, 24. 24, yeah, what am I talking about? No. Okay, I'm trying to just work out how I can make that number the same as the 1818. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'll find a way. I have to think about it. What day is it today? Oh, we forgot to do that.
Friday.
So it is.
The first.
8-1.
What the hell?
What
That's
the
crazy.
fuck? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't swear, right? Swear might be bad. I don't know. Okay. Can I
That's
bleep that later? Bloody hell,
yeah.
I got goosebumps. Oh,
That's mad. That is crazy.
that is insane, bro. And 25. Okay, let's stop doing that now. It's freaking me out. Okay. Damn, that is 18, bro. 18, 18th book, 8-1. And 8 and
That's
1 is 9.
yeah. Well,
Like it's meant to be. It's meant to be. But we should stop because it's dangerous.
yes. We're getting carried away.
8-1, 18th book. Nah, that's not coincidence. Okay, here we go.
All right. So this is the definition for Russian or Western Tartary.
Yes.
We mention that part of Tartary, which is subject to the Russians in this place, because it is included in the extensive limits just mentioned. That portion which belongs to the Empress is situated between 55 and 97 degrees of east longitude, but its breadth is various. It is in general not very fertile for the Tartars, especially those who inhabit many parts of this district, are constantly changing their place of habitation, so that the ground lays in great measure uncultivated. There are some sorry, there are some mines, but very few of them are much worked. Their animals are the same as those of Eastern Tartary. Mr. Bell, speaking of Tartary, says, from the river Volga to the wall of China, there are three great Tartar princes, the Ayuka Cham, the Ketuya, and the Tush de Cham. These three mighty nations have almost the same features, religion, and language. They also live in much the same manner. Few languages can carry a traveller over a greater extent of country than that of the Tartars. With the Arabic, indeed, a person may travel through many places of the East, even from Egypt to Delhi. But with the Illyric, he may travel much farther, even from the Gulf of Venice in the west to the utmost boundaries of Kamchatka in the east. It must, however, be observed that some parts of Tartary included in the above limits still maintain their independency. These parts are chiefly about Bokhara, Samarkand, and a few other places. See these described in geographical dictionary under their proper names. There we go. That is the page.
Yeah. That is great. The 18th
It's
page of the 18th book on the 1st of August.
yeah, it's
You couldn't
incredible.
you couldn't plan that. You couldn't plan that. Yeah. So that's Russia or Western Tartary. So Western Tartary incorporated Russia, and then Eastern Tartary would have been the secondary empire, not the initial empire. So the secondary empire, it looks like, was post-invasion into China. China would
Yeah.
have been probably too big to govern itself back then. And I don't know what China was. I think China was just one like a large empire that wasn't really very kind of clearly marked. I think as
Well,
soon as you go
yeah.
into East Asia, you're in China kind of thing. So it's just city after city kind of thing. And yeah.
Well, I thought perhaps I could read a little bit of the history of China from the same book. Maybe, Charles.
Yeah, what about page 81? There's 81 pages.
I'm on page
Yeah.
14 here, but I think
14. Okay.
yeah. Right. So this is in regards to the history of China.
Hmm.
The history of the affairs of China is much involved in the obscurity, and the fabulous accounts delivered to us in the Chinese annuals make us frequently suspect those relations which may be founded on fact. Their form of government seems to have been invariably monarchical, and the succession generally hereditary. Their history divides the emperors into 22 dynasties or epochs of each imperial family that has been successively killed to the throne. But it does not furnish us with many interesting events until the middle of the last century, when an interesting event occurred. The empire was In 1644, the empire was conquered by the Tartars, who took advantage of the enabled state of China, occasioned by various domestic dissensions. At the time when the Tartars entered the country, the discontented parties were so numerous that there were no less than 8 different armies under the direction of as many chiefs. In this season, above general anarchy, the Tartars seized upon the capital in the above year, and soon after subjecting the whole empire, and soon after subjected the whole empire. The moderation and wisdom of the Tartarian emperors affected as much as their arms, and the attachment which they shewed to the established laws and forms of governments, and their impartiality in dispensing honours and emoluments, completed their conquest in a short space of time. Thus, the Chinese and Tartars were united into one nation, and by this union the latter seems to have rather submitted to the laws of the former than to have imposed any new burdens upon them. In reality, Tartary became subject to China, which still holds the feet of the empire and has the supreme courts of justice. Sorry about this.
Yep.
Hither flows all the wealth of the united sovereignties, and there are honours are conferred. Thus, China has gained an extension of strength from Tartary, and has now no enemy to fear. On the date of, yeah, that's pretty much the end of the Tartary part there. But I mean, I think with what I've just read in them two statements, Joel,
Yeah.
prove that Tartary was very real.
Yes, without a shadow of a doubt. It's interesting the conquest, yeah, of China. So
Yeah.
it's saying that there was a conquest, and it's also saying that maybe they became the Chinese emperors, or they had their own dynasty maybe at some point. Because I think once you conquer, you kind of end up creating a dynasty of sorts.
Yeah.
So I mean, it could have been a a like an Aryan dynasty, like maybe the Qing dynasty, which I've always been suspicious about, had very similar architecture, especially in its temples
Well,
to
yeah, it's funny you say
to
that,
Rome,
Joel.
to the Roman Empire,
Yeah.
because the geometry of the temples, the pillars, the
Yeah.
colors compared to like Byzantine architecture is almost identical because you have the outer courtyard, the inner courtyard. You have a
Yeah.
rectilinear pillared kind of like alcoves. You have the roof as well. The roof is very similar. I think the Qing dynasty drew a lot of inspiration from the Roman Empire, especially the Byzantine Empire.
Yeah.
And I think that is through this conquest, because there is no record of a Western conquest of China ever. But if there was a Tartarian conquest of China, then, you know, I think that that could be exactly what people are looking for when they're trying to understand why there are so many like villages where, Chinese people look like, blonde haired, blue eyed, you know,
Makes sense.
especially after the Battle of Kar, which happened, I think, against the Ottoman Turks. A lot of the legions went back to China, the Roman legions.
Yeah.
And there is a city in China which has Roman sculptures, Roman statues. Yeah. And the people have blonde hair, some of the children. Yeah. And this is not mainstream, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's crazy though, because I mean, all the information that's in these old books, if like a lot of names, I've got names of Chinese emperors and all different people from all different countries, but none of them
Yeah.
exist. When you look trying to find them in online archives, none of them exist. I've got lists upon lists of names, but none of these
Well, I
people
don't
you
know
can.
many. I don't know many records of famous Western people that lived in China and originated in China or originated in Chinese East Asian countries. But
Yeah.
there are a few, but there's not many. Yeah.
Like the names that I read out before, the three great Tartar princes, Ayuka Cham, to name one of them.
Yeah.
These people were obviously known because they've been written about. So there's some
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. The
This
Cham. Yeah.
knowledge.
Cham. Yeah.
We've got English
Ayuka Cham. Yeah.
yeah, we've got English writers writing about the specific three, and in great depth they're talking about this. So there must be records of these people. So where are the records? We've got records of other history, but we haven't got any record of this.
So Cham is, I think, a description of someone's stature. I
Yeah,
don't know if
Cham is,
that's the surname. Yeah.
yeah, that is the
Because I've
top.
come across that before. Cham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they worship the Cham. Yeah,
So maybe that's where the word champion comes from in English. But a cham would be like an emperor, or I'm thinking like a Tsar, maybe.
no, you're all right, Charles. A Cham is the emperor. Yeah,
Yeah. So the cham is the emperor. So Ayuka would be the only real thing to go
name.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean if it's Khan or Chang, then we know it's Mongolian, right?
yeah,
So then we know it's Tartarian, right? But Ayuka, yeah, Kutaya. Like I mean, what like Tamerlane is a good is a very obvious one.
yeah.
Gog
So,
and Magog, or Gog of Magog, because sometimes
yeah,
it's Gog of Magog. So is that
we
the
have
city
got, yeah.
Magog, or is that the father? I'm thinking. So yeah, yeah,
They've done a great job of mixing it all up.
yeah, yeah. So even the Huns could be the part of the Tartarian Empire as well. Yeah. I
Everyone,
think the
yeah.
Normans that invaded the UK were actually I think the word Norman means Mormon or
And,
Moors.
well, yeah, and then you can't forget Korea, it's
Yeah,
Tartarian.
Korea, yeah.
And this is an interesting one. This is a reference from the same book again in regards to Korea.
Yeah.
Yes, the language of Korea is a mixture of Chinese and Minchao Tartarian. It is copious, and they make use of three different hands in writing. The first consists of large, broad strokes, somewhat similar to those of China, and it is in likewise the character in which their books are printed. The second, so they've got books. We know that now from this that they've
Yeah, I
written
need
books.
to, I would I mean I would like to have that page if you could take a photo.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it. And
So
then
is that the same book?
same book. Yeah,
That's one hell of a book, bro. Like that's
no,
telling
it
you about
came
the
today. I
that's
got
telling you
it.
about the language as well, right?
So before it was the 18th page in my
Yeah.
18th book, and I got it on the 18th because it came today.
Wow. August the 1st. Bro,
August the 1st. Yeah, sorry.
the
What?
angels are trying to talk to you. They got some message for you. You've got to listen. You got to listen.
I'm
If you
always
if
listening.
you accept this, you'll get something else.
Well, I haven't
Um,
finished the reference yet. Here we go. The second kind is a kind of running hand used by the great men and governors in answering petitions. The third, which is a ruder scrawl, is chiefly used by the common people. All these kinds of writings are performed with a hair pencil. They have abundance of old books, both printed and manuscripts, which are preserved with the utmost care. They print from blocks of wood like those of the Chinese. As Korea is tributary to the Eastern Tartars, who subdued it before they conquered China, an ambassador is sent thrice every year to receive the tribute, which the Koreans pay in ginseng.
what?
It's
So
crazy.
so the ginseng is payment, is it?
Yeah, which is a
Why is it
spice.
so hard to come by? Because I know there's different types of ginseng.
It only grew in certain parts of the world, I'm led to believe.
Yeah, you got to do something on ginseng then. Because I know red ginseng is very expensive in Korea. It's almost like some kind of everlasting sort of life,
Yeah.
uh sort of ancient secret sort of elixir of life or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
bet. I mean,
red ginseng is very expensive. I'll try and find out how much it is. I remember it's expensive. I wonder. Yeah.
yeah, I'll have to have a look. Right, I'll
So
send you that reference.
how
I've
much is
sent
it?
you a few. I've sent you a few, but I haven't sent you the right one. I've got quite a few.
Uh, yeah. So it says that extract of 45 kilograms. 1 kilogram is 8,000 or 8,000 Indian rupee. I don't know. I don't know what. Why is it coming up with Indian? Okay, so yeah, apparently, Koreans eat the red ginseng every day. It gives them longevity. They take 200 milligrams of ginseng root extract um, every day. That's a lot.
It must be very good for you.
Yeah, and it's I mean, oh sorry, it grows in the wild, so you don't even know if you're gonna find it.
So then you've got to ask yourself, yeah, Charles.
68, no, sorry, 680 million won
So yeah, and
for
you've got to
400
ask yourself.
grams.
You've got to ask yourself, Charles, if we've got an empire as big as Tartary, and the only
Yeah,
payment they want from Korea, which is a large country itself, the only
yeah,
payment that is ginseng. So that just shows you how valuable it was to them.
yeah. That's crazy.
When you think about it a bit further, there's obviously something special about ginseng.
400 grams is 360,000 pounds sterling.
Well, it's a bit expensive.
What the hell? Who can afford that? I mean, yeah, okay, some people can.
Maybe if it grows in your garden, if you're lucky enough.
So yeah, you're gonna need yeah, for like a bag of gins. Yeah, that's like that, yeah. I mean, what's on that level? Yeah. So, but it's actually what like 1,000 Korean, but I don't know what it was back then.
I think they put ginseng in energy drinks, don't they?
They do, but I guarantee you it's not wild red
Yeah,
Korean
it'll be
ginseng.
an artificial version, it'll be some artificial crap.
Yeah, but they were paying yeah, 400 grams. That's quite a lot though, 400 grams. That could last you maybe a few years, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like 40
But
odd
that's
ounce.
still a lot
You
of
know,
money. 300,000 pounds.
£300,000 is a lot of money, Charles.
That's like life-changing amounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So only the rich get to yeah, partake. But I'm sure you have all kinds of other species, probably much cheaper than that. But yeah, if they're using ginseng, yeah, that's like gold, right?
Yeah. Well, it seems to
But
be.
you have to understand that. You have to have the context of what is ginseng. It's a root. It can't be farmed. It has to be natural. It's very rare. It goes for hundreds of thousands of pounds per, 100 grams.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, makes sense. I mean, there were all kinds of crazy plants used in the past for currency. It's not that unusual. I think there was a period of time in Holland where they were using tulips, right, to pay for things.
Yeah. I didn't
Like
know that.
you could buy an entire house if you had a bunch of tulips because
A
they were so
million.
rare.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
yeah.
insane, but like uh, I read a book about it once. But that was the Dutch, so
I
I don't
do.
know.
I do often think that that'd be a better way of life by instead of money and working on a financial system, but in working for people with people. You know what I mean? Exchanging skills and favors. I don't know. You need it require a lot more.
Yeah, it does make more sense. Like, a chicken for a loaf of bread kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, you set up a system. It obviously require a lot of thought and a lot of brain power to get a working system, but that seems like a better idea because then you use the fullest of your ability then
Yeah, I
without being
mean,
without being strained as a slave like you would be at work.
yeah, but I mean, it's if you're exchanging something for ginseng, you're not really going to eat the ginseng, I don't think. You're probably going to keep it,
Oh,
use it. So it ends up being maybe the same thing.
maybe.
But yeah, I mean, uh, I don't think I've ever paid for anything without money. It'd be interesting to try that.
I have. Well, I used to
Have
have
you
my
tried
own
it
body.
before?
I used to have my own body shop, and
Okay.
some of my mates would pay me in all sorts, pay me in clothes, they pay me in favors, or maybe one of them. I had a couple mates that were painters and decorators, so I'd service the car, they'd paint my front room.
That's
Favors like
wicked,
that.
yeah.
But it's beneficial to both people, you know. You don't have to, neither of you have to spend real money. You're just doing something that you can do that's
Yeah.
within your skill range to receive something back.
Yeah, why not? I mean, maybe that would actually like help you with your like ancestral connections if you start doing that.
I
Because I
try.
do think there's something very dark and demonic about money, especially if you look at it like a snake on a tree with a dollar sign. It's there's a lot of like dark symbolism
Yeah.
there,
Well, a lot of
trying to
people,
keep you.
yeah, thinking about English money, and not a lot of people realize this, but the new plastic notes, they're just worthless pieces of plastic. The old paper notes, a £5 note, had a strip of silver in it, and that
Yeah.
strip of silver were worth £5. And then for your £10 note, same again, strip of
So
silver
was
in it.
that silver in there? I thought there was some kind of like code, like some kind of microchip or some kind of
The
coded paper or something.
strip of silver, same with like
It was a
coins.
strip of silver.
Yeah, same
That's
with coins.
crazy.
Like the copper in a 1p coin
Yeah.
was the equivalent of 1p's worth of copper. So what you
Wow.
had, it had real value to it. But the money now, I mean, you still get pennies and stuff, copper pennies, but the pound notes we've got now are
Mm.
plastic, and there's nothing precious
Um,
about it anymore. So you haven't got the value with the money anymore. You've not got the physical worth anymore.
I don't think many people knew that they had a strip of silver that was actually valuable.
Neither did I
Wow.
until someone told me, and then I did
That's
some digging,
crazy.
and it's true. But it makes sense, you know.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, of
It's
course. I mean,
worth
it's worth
it.
what it's what you
Yeah,
actually have in you. I mean, how much silver did they have to keep in those like the Royal Mint?
I don't know a lot.
A lot of silver in the Royal Mint. Just shows you
But
how all of these things we're being told are like valuable are probably not really hard to come by if you know where to go, kind of thing.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think the same. It's like gold. But all these old Tartarian structures had gold roofs a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think there was a city in America which is now in the Grand Canyon, and the city has the same name. I think it was the streets were paved with gold. That wasn't a saying. That was actually they
Fair
had
play.
gems, diadems, rubies as paving stones. But all of
Amazing.
that was obviously ripped off and removed. But yeah, I mean, they say that I mean, if there was that great reset and if meltology did in fact occur, then there must be all kinds of precious metals melted into the soil. So then
Yeah.
you get these people having this gold rush where they're like finding gold in the river
Yeah.
and they think it's a natural thing, but it's probably some, ancient melted
The
like
road.
yeah. The road was paved in gold because electromagnetically it would help them move. You could probably walk for 1,000 miles and it wouldn't really hurt your
Mm.
legs because you have that electromagnetic cushioning. You have the strengthening of your joints. You have the
Yeah.
gold, the metals in your own synovial fluid, your own body. I've done a few videos on that, on the electromagnetic body, on the fact that the heart is not pumping blood. It's actually electromagnetic coil, like a coil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And
biological coil.
yeah, because if you have if usually if people have like a heart attack, they get the defibrillator out and it's electrical.
Got
Everything's
it. Yeah.
electrical. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all charged.
Yeah, we all charged. We all, we charge our batteries literally. Yeah. So, I'm going to go on to one of these slides. So I don't know if you agree with this statement. In the late 18th century, Tartaria was not a taboo subject, and the empire was openly discussed as part of geographical academic seminars and publications for higher education. But then came the reset, the dumbing down of mankind, spearheaded by the re-education agenda of the Ministry of Education, funded since 1902 by JD Rockefeller. Would you agree with that statement?
I would agree with that, Charles.
And so yeah, re-education begins. Yeah, that's I should add your stuff to that. Yeah, I was looking at a few Tartarian animals as part of our original Tartarian Empire series of videos, and one that I came across was the Tartarian monkey. I didn't know there was a Tartarian species of monkey uh, until I started looking into this in preparation for this. I mean, I tried a lot of different Google searches: Tartarian owl, Tartarian pigeon,
You want to try?
Tartarian
You want to try
chicken.
using? You want to try using Yandex, Charles? That's the one I've been using.
Yes, I used to use that actually. That's Russian, isn't it?
Yeah, really
Russian
good.
owned. Yeah, I have an email account there, uh, many years ago. So yeah, I'll try and use that. I mean that I could use a few different. I mean, I have other search engines as well. Um, so yeah, Tartarian monkey. So this was actually the largest species of monkey.
It looks a bit similar to a baboon.
It does. It has like almost a blue, some like the because I know they have very colorful derrieres,
Yes.
and this one does. Yeah, it does look like a baboon. So could this be like an animal that was used within the culture? Was it like part of the? Why is it called Tartarian? Is it just because that's where it lived? And yeah, I have a bit of information on this, but not much. The Tartarian monkey apparently is a baboon. So you're spot on. It's a
Yes.
type of baboon called a Hamadryas baboon. It is this picture is painted by Titan Ramsey Peale, who created the watercolor because um, the Semea hydrus Tartarian monkey uh, is I think the largest of the monkey species. Yeah. So
Oh, what year is that, Charles?
sorry.
But do you know what year it is?
The illustration.
Yeah,
Um, Let me check.
great illustration though.
Yeah, this is I think he is an American. This is the 1774 was when it was yeah, on display.
Good year.
It was it was printed in the National Gazette of Philadelphia. So America's coming up again. August 1821. Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, so there's a lot of there are Tartarian sheep, panthers, there's a few different ones. But this one is
Oh,
very interesting.
sorry for interrupting, Charles. I've got one to note. Sent you some pictures of it, I think. Called the dromedary. It's a bit like a camel. That was,
Dromedary, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
very similar to a camel, and that was native to Tartary and other
Oh,
parts of Asia.
okay.
And I have
Yeah.
got one of the books I've got, History of the World, Oliver Goldsmith. There is a painting like what you've got of the monkey here of the dromedary. I should have sent it over to you to add on this presentation.
Yeah. I want to start listing these animals just to get a record of them because I think it's definitely part of the puzzle. Because animals live only in certain parts of the world. Like a koala can't be found outside of that habitat. Kangaroos can't be found outside of um, like Australia. So there's like Tasmanian devil. That's also a very much like a very regional sort of territorial animal. So you go anywhere near their habitat and they get very defensive. And I think that if you have an animal that is labeled in that way geographically, then that is uh, a very important part of finding out what the flora and fauna of Tartaria was and what the empire actually was. Um, and yeah, I mean, you wouldn't call something after a after an empire that wasn't really set in stone. Yeah, because
Yeah.
uh, because that's the whole point of labeling animals. It's to understand a species behavior. So yeah, the Tartarian monkey is uh, quite docile, though it says it's not really an aggressive one. But I thought all baboons were pretty aggressive. But yeah,
Yeah, I
anyway.
didn't think any of them were friendly.
Yeah, they also have very like almost dog-like features. So they have like a lot of teeth and stuff. So yeah, this is a
Oh,
pretty large.
sorry for butting in, Charles. Just wanted to mention, I'm also, in regards to animals of the old world, I'm bidding
Yeah.
on online auction site. It's a 1785 copy of Buffon's Natural History, and it's got
Oh, beautiful.
63 full page copper engraved plates of different animals.
Wow.
So that'll
Yeah,
be
that's
great.
a good, beautiful thing. Yeah.
And then to go along with that, of the 1785 edition of Buffon's Natural History, but this is folding maps of the new and old continent.
Wow.
That should be great for some more context, really, on the world that we aren't taught about in regards to
Yeah.
like animals, because it's a whole range of not just structures, but fauna, culture, people, the way they dress, the way they talk. This
Sure.
is this it's a whole world that we haven't been told about.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, some of those illustrations might show you, animals that are extinct as well, or animals that have only been seen once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how animals got to certain islands, especially in like East Asia. There's like large bears that are native to these tiny islands, and I really do think they kind of like swam there because of a flood or something, or they came from a larger continent and just ended up going into the mountains to hide from the flood or something. Because there are stories about even small islands near Japan where there were tigers, and I don't know how tigers could have ended up
got there.
there.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense. Uh, I mean, there's famous stories of people that were sent to certain islands to hunt tigers because the tigers were upsetting the populace, and it's very weird. Like, how does a tiger become the sort of apex predator of a small island that has no other predators, like nothing, so were they brought there by other civilizations? Because I know the Moors like to carry things around with them, like lions, elephants, things like that.
yeah.
Um,
So it could have been them.
so
Yeah.
so I think
Well,
every empire brings with it these things, these cultural things, and they often bring animals with them. Yeah.
oh, one bit of information that's relevant to what you've just said that I've read. It's in regards to rats. They're not actually native to Britain, but in I think it might have been the 15th century they came over from Spain on trade boats.
Yeah, I think a lot of things came from Spain and ended up in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
then
think I think an
that,
entire empire came
that
from
shows,
Spain.
yeah, it shows that things can be brought across, and then they can soon repopulate new countries and areas.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you see an animal somewhere that is African and it shouldn't be there, like three lines on a shirt or something, you know,
Yeah.
like they came from another empire, and that was probably from Spain. Because the only difference between Spain and and Africa is like a 2 minute journey, or 5 minute journey
Yeah, it's not
by
far.
boat. Yeah. So I mean, when we say Europe, Africa, we're forgetting how close Greece is to Africa. We're forgetting how close Spain is to Africa. You know. And it was part of Africa. I mean, because the Moors did, the Islamic Umayyad they called them at the time. Yeah, and I think the food as well, like even like the food that they eat, the fruit, the vegetables that they're growing on the farms came from Africa. Yeah,
Yeah, won't be surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Cradle of
That's,
civilization.
yeah, no, I do find that fascinating. It's because I kind of know what to look for because it's the stuff I wasn't taught at school.
Yeah, the opposite of what you were told is what you need to look for.
Right, right. Nobody told me there was an African, king ruling Portugal for, 500 years.
Well, no one told me, Charles, that a Tartarian king conquered China and a Tartarian
Yeah.
prince founded the Indian Empire.
Yeah, no, someone told me today. Yeah. So yeah,
So,
that's pretty crazy. That's crazy. I mean, that's really going to change a lot of my kind of perspective. Yeah. Yeah,
so
so
I class India as Tartary. Well, back then.
well, I mean, I think India is probably like probably the oldest place on Earth.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people are gonna probably say Ethiopia, like Africa, but the architecture in India has never really been fully explored by any Western person that has had any kind of say or any kind of public celebrity status. Like no one's ever talked about the what is the Alhambra cave? No. Do you know those massive caves that are carved out of a mountain? But they're not caves. It's like an entire network of palaces.
Where's that?
Is it Alham?
In
Do you
Iran.
know? I think it's Hampi, and it's called a chariot, and it supposedly did move around, but it was like it's been petrified over thousands of years, or it looks like it's been carved out of stone. Yeah,
What's that called?
it's called the Hampi chariot. It's part of that network, the Hampi chariot. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's just mad. It's just not something that I mean, I've never been there, so if I had been there, I think I would be regularly probably posting images, but
I mean,
it's
that's
an
quite
insane
exactly what.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly a chariot.
It's a chariot, and it's like 3,000 years old or 4,000 years old, and it's a chariot, and
The wheels on it.
did they
Yeah.
copy the design for a chariot from the Hampi? And who the hell were they? And
Yeah.
why has nobody ever talked about it? Why every time I tell someone about it, they don't know, you
Like
know?
me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but don't worry because nobody ever knows. Like, I've never spoken to anyone who said, "Oh, I've heard of Hampi chariot." I mean, I'm sure in India they'll know.
So the horse is at the front of it like the actual size of a real horse, just so I can gauge how big
It's
it is.
but it's too old. It's far beyond. It's like prehistory.
And see, this is what modern
It's
history
scary
is.
as hell. Like it's like a glitch in the Matrix kind of thing.
Modern history just instead of trying to explain this, they just ignore it.
They do, they do.
But you can't, I
Which
don't
is
get how
which is the
people.
I think that's not the way to go. I would say that's you know. Did somebody go to India thousands of years ago? I don't know, hundreds of years ago, and start drawing what they saw, and then trying to apply it to every day, and then you have this great awakening where the chariot actually works, and the wheels actually work because that's happened. I mean, that's like what happened to I think Tesla. If Tesla was in fact a real person, he started copying the hieroglyphs and realized that it was a manual on how to create the first, copper coil, right? So
Yeah,
the first energy generating electromagnetic engine.
yeah, from
Uh,
ancient. Yeah,
and these are the awakenings of our. I think this is what's going to happen here with Tartaria. Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
gonna wake. I think you're right, Charles. With
yeah,
what we're
yeah.
finding, what we're bringing out. I mean, like I said before, I'm a logical man. I don't believe in crazy theories are like,
Mm.
I just want to know the truth about the world that I live in.
Yeah.
And we've been told the truth. You pick up an old book, spend 5 minutes reading it, and you're going to find that out. It's not even hard to find proof that we've been lied to. Like I said, any old
But I think
confidence.
you're underestimating here, like your own ability. That you're kind of just relying on your ability to find the books and to find the truth in the books. But how many people are doing that, and there's no one else. I mean, that I know of one person called Art of Dino who kind of did that for a while, just reading old books out. But I've been researching this, and I don't know anyone else. So like, I think that I think sometimes we can forget because we are always being reminded of the mundane existence. Do
Yeah,
this, do that, eat, sleep, rave,
yeah,
repeat.
yeah.
Pay the bills, like get a job, like so. It's like we are nobody's ever telling us, oh, by the way, your brain is the most powerful computer, on earth. Your skull is the perfect musical instrument to recreate every frequency that you need, even to the point of destroying physical matter. So it's like, I mean, I mean, there's a lot of things that are hidden from us, and then there are lies, lies, lies. So many lies that you don't know what the truth is. And then when you actually look into something, people have this weird this kind of captive syndrome where they try to almost destroy each other as soon as some actual truth comes out. Because it's easier to fool people than to tell them they're being fooled. And once you tell them that, they then feel almost
It,
an embarrassment.
yeah.
And there's like there's a syndrome. It's actually a psychological situation, psychological ailment where people almost can't. After a certain age, I don't think you can anymore. You can't think about things in a new way. You can't recalibrate. Yeah. I don't know
No,
what that age is, by the way, but
I think you're on yours. I mean, you've probably had it yourself. I mean, on some of my posts, I get people commenting, asking good questions, and I like that. But then I get people commenting, and there's no question, there's no nothing. They're not theorizing anything. They're just calling me names. You know what I mean? And I just don't get
like,
it. You know,
why do
what
they call you names though? Why is that the first thing that you do?
I mean? I never
That's
like
interesting, right?
attack it with anger. I never understand why. I mean, I'm not spreading nonsense. I'm sharing what old books say.
Yeah, so it's almost like that's been kind of woven into our minds at some point that in order to survive, you have to be angry and aggressive
Yeah,
every time someone tells you something you didn't
agree with.
know. What? It's kind of crazy.
But I'll continue on. Charles won't stop me.
Yeah, no, I mean, um, yeah, I mean, if it, yeah, I mean, if it does kind of make you feel down, then, you know, uh,
Don't make me feel that.
you can have a break. It's not like complete addiction yet. But I think
Oh,
if you really want to achieve something in life, you have to be eating, sleeping something to the point where your mind's always working on it. I think
yeah,
that's what genius is, right?
yeah, obsessive.
Because yeah, you have to be obsessive about it because that's part of how your brain kind of ignites that crown chakra, that higher. That's how your brain works. So there's nothing wrong with being angry. Like even Jesus was angry when he saw something that was wrong.
Yeah,
It's part of our kind of emotion. It like a Buddhists don't want to get angry. They don't want to show their emotions. And I think that's a big flaw because it's like it's a part of your mind.
the emotion. Yeah, how do you feel?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, talk. Sorry, John.
Okay, so I finally there was a lamb, but this is not this lamb was not part of the animal kingdom, or it was considered to be somewhere between animal and vegetable. And that's also called the lamb of Tartary. Um, and so we have the Tartarian monkey. What else? We have pheasant and the lamb. So the lamb of Tartary, or the lamb of God, is this magical cure-all for disease. And it was considered to be that, specifically a cure-all for disease. So the Lamb of God, or the Lamb of Tartary, is therefore a natural, much like Korean ginseng, a natural cure for various ailments. They would take the lamb, they would pluck it out of the plant. It would be to scale, as big as a sheep, I guess, a
Yeah.
goat, or some kind of ram or lamb, and it was then moved to your house. It would already have legs on it. It would have horns. It would be a furry sort of vine, I would say, and you would place it outside your house. It would scare off maybe evil spirits. People believed that it was also medicinal. So why was it growing in the shape of a sheep? Why was this cotton that came off the animal like a growth? Why did that look so much like a sheep? And my theory is that it was designed that way by God, to grow into the shape of the Lamb of God, because that's it, where the healing properties would be communicated.
Yeah.
Before any kind of language, we would see it. We would say, "Damn, is that a sheep?" And then we would look closer. We would realize actually it's not a sheep. It just looks like a sheep. There, there are records of people mistaking them for actual animals and thinking that they were grazing, and people would then be drawn to it for food. Um,
I
I
think,
don't know why it's
yeah.
called the Tartarian lamb, but it must have grown within the areas that belonged to an empire called Tartaria. Um, Even though this is not this is not really Chinese flora. So Tartaria was not just China. It was obviously, as we know now, but I didn't know yesterday, that most likely these are shrubs that grew in the Western Hemisphere.
Don't
Yeah.
look like shrubs though, do they?
No, I think it is this geometry of our everyday life that, by the way, the plants, there are recreations of it, I think. Or maybe it's called a cryptid, which is a living creature that was grown, yeah, unnaturally or something. So, but it's a great philosophy, and every time this plant grows, it looks like a lamb every time. Four legs, a tail, and a head every time. That is not a coincidence. That's not just shrubs growing in a certain way every time. Throughout
No.
hundreds of years, from the Project Gutenberg vegetable lamb of Tartary to the Renaissance philosophy, the magic of the Tartarian lamb, to the cryptid lamb of Tartary, it always looks like a lamb, and it really is scary. Like it really looks like a lamb, like the skin, the fur.
Well,
Um,
there's reasons why we've probably never heard of it today, and we have seen it. But then when you think about the theory of evolution, how would the theory of evolution explain that, Charles?
no, I mean that is skipping a lot of steps that would have to be part of a completely different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So it's not only is this, like I say, lost history, but this is you can see why things like this have been erased because it challenges what they're making us believe in the modern civilized in
yeah.
the modern generation.
Yes, I mean this would not have been useful when Charles Darwin was publishing his Origin of the Species, because that's roughly the time when these were like written
Being
into. Yeah.
yeah.
So it actually says Plante su crotos de frontières de la Moscovie. So it's Muscovy Tartarian lamb.
Yeah,
So
well, must have
Muscovy is
been.
another word for Tartaria. So La Tartarie, Proscia destruction, a fruit that resembles the mutton. Yeah. So even the French thought it found one. But the French one also has eyes, so this could have been a lot more scary than I think
Yeah, I think it might be
these
quite.
illustrations that I have here. Because this one has eyes and it's got eyelashes and everything, retina, hooves. This is much more scary. This one.
It's anatomically correct. Yeah.
It's completely honest. Yeah, I mean, it's got like it looks like it's got larger hindquarters, everything. I mean, there are some plants that grow in almost a biological shape, like kidney beans. If you dissect a carrot, it's a like perfect retina, the size of a human eye, and then you have uh like nuts, like walnuts are basically two halves of a human brain, perfect to scale. Um,
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of clues in nature that tell you what to eat at a certain time if you feel a certain way or if you have certain issues. Like celery is basically a thigh bone, you know.
Yeah.
So
When you think about it, yeah.
the first time you see celery, and you've seen bones before, and then you compare the two. Would you start eating celery and then you find out celery is high in iron and that's necessary for bone growth? Then you have
Hmm.
sweet corn, which people swear by in China that they eat sweet corn to help their teeth. And there's every little, yeah, and you look at it and then you suddenly realize, damn, okay, I've looked at the world in a completely wrong way.
Yeah.
Sweet corn and it's high like in certain minerals as well. And yeah, they look like teeth. Like every single, you know. It's scary. I mean, if you look at it a different way, the world, I think then you get a whole different perspective, and you have to do that to discover things that have been hidden. Yeah,
Yeah. You can't look at seeing things. Yeah, in the normal way. You've got
yeah,
to be
so many
open
things.
minded.
Like women, traditionally, when they have, I think when they're pregnant, they eat like certain types of food, and I think one of these is like dragon fruit is like good for the blood, and if you eat dragon fruit, it's basically blood. I mean, it looks like blood. It's very juicy. The color of blood goes through your whole body, comes out the other end, you know. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I think there are clues there. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different ones that are surprisingly similar to the geometry of the human body. Yeah,
Yeah, there is.
yeah. So yeah, maybe it could be something like that. That this has grown in that way to replace some kind of medicine. Because yeah, because like snake venom or anti-venom for snakes is derived from the blood of the lamb, and Jesus was referred to, as I've said to you before, Jesus was always referred to as the Lamb of God.
Yeah.
And
Practice.
Satan was always referred to as the original serpent in the Garden of Eden. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the depth of understanding in the Bible is quite profound. Um, yeah, cool. Yeah, so the mysterious vegetable lamb of Tartary. There are many other animals that can be associated with Tartaria, like the griffin, the owl, um, and the griffin. Obviously, there's many stories of griffins being used to defend California by Queen Khalifa, that she had griffins, and they made a movie about these, but they used flying monkeys instead in The Wizard of Oz. But they based that on the entire story of how the island of California, which is how it was portrayed on maps before the 1700s, that it was conquered in that way by large griffins just being kind of shot out of the sky in order to stop any surveillance happening by this island of women warriors. Yeah,
Strong women.
Califia. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, a lot of amazing animals. So I mean, I don't know why the griffin was used, but then again, dragons are used all the time in different flags for different countries.